Welcome back, everybody, to Not Two Old Timers. I'm Brian,
And I'm Corey.
and we are not two old timers sitting around telling stories and talking about things.
Man, it's been a long time, Brian.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
got some catch-up work to do.
yeah.
Ketchup and
So,
mustard.
how you been?
I've been busy, dude. I've
Yeah,
I got a month and a half old that I brought home from the hospital. My wife delivered, and it's been busy. I've been taking care of my wife, taking care of the kid. I have very little personal life at this point in time, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be a father again, and and do this newborn child experience all over again. You know, I'm in my 40s. I'm I'm retired, and I'm starting a family all over again. It's a lot of fun.
well, let me just say congratulations officially,
Thanks, brother.
and I'm very happy for you, man. I know
Yeah,
you've been looking forward to this for a while.
yeah. It's been a long time coming, but we finally, finally got there, and success. So got a healthy baby girl, and we're living life. I have very little sleep. My sleep schedule's so freaking messed up, dude. Like, I'm up all day. Sometimes we'll run around, we'll go grocery shopping or go to the hospital, get checkup, etc. Right? But other than that, I'll try to take care of her throughout the day. And then I'll put her to bed at 9. I'll wake up at 12, or I try to put her to bed at 9. Sometimes I put her to bed at 12, but I'll feed her at 9, feed her at 12, feed her at 3, feed her at 6. But dude, I've got this issue where I lay down to go to sleep between 9 and whenever I fall asleep, and I'm so I'm like so exhausted. I'm so mentally exhausted that I can't fall asleep, but I'm hyper focused and tuned in to every single little sound that this little girl makes, where I'm getting up and I'm checking on her, and I don't fall asleep till like 4 in the morning. It's crazy. So I'll feed her at 3, and then I'll finally fall asleep after that, and the wife will get up in the morning, take the morning. And so we do a shift thing, right? Where she takes the morning shift and I take all freaking night. But dude, it sucks. Like, my sleep schedule is so messed up. It's so messed up. Like, I would like to just get up every hour and feed her, or every, 3 hours and feed her, be up for that hour and then go back to sleep, but I can't. It's just something is not right inside my sleep schedule, where it just doesn't allow me to do it. So, you know, I'm bearing with it right now. I think that's just the struggles of a newborn into the family, introducing into the family, is how does, stabilizing the family function, and how it operates.
Yeah,
Luckily, like really, really, really big luckily is I don't actively work. Like, I don't have a job that I go to in the mornings. So like, everything that I need to do, for income purposes, um, can be done whenever, right? Like, I was doing work last night. I just got up at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I started popping emails back to the U.S., and kind of it didn't matter, right? Um, thankfully, thankfully, I don't have to get up in the mornings to go into work, because I would not. Oh God, it'd be so hard. It'd be so hard. I'm just so thankful. I'm so glad I'm retired right now. I'm so glad I
yeah,
don't have to do all of that.
yeah, man. I can't imagine, you know, what you're going through.
Not
Uh,
to mention not to mention that I'm old and broken. I'm not that old, but I'm really broken. And so, like,
yeah.
my standing, I'm limited to like 10 minutes of standing, and I'm trying to rock this baby to sleep, and I'm like, "Look, little girl, daddy ain't fucking around. You need to sleep, because my back is compressed and it hurts bad. I can't continue to stand."
Next thing you know, mom's gonna be pushing both of you in strollers.
I'll be in tears. I'll be in tears giving her lullabies, crying, not because I'm emotional in the moment, but because I'm in pain.
Well, not to play the devil's advocate here, but you did bring it on yourself.
Right, right, right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. 18,
Yeah,
18 years later, she'll have to take care of daddy. So,
yeah, yeah. That's the whole reason you did it.
right. I'll
So you had
be
somebody to take care of you when you're old.
I'll be 60 years old, and she'll be like, "Man, my dad is so old."
Yeah,
She'll finally get to an age to where she can understand, why is my
yeah,
dad so old?
yeah. Yeah, man, I'm happy for you guys. I really am. Can't
Yeah.
wait for you guys to get back out and into society.
Right? Me too, man. Me too. Well, I mean, you got the whole newborn function team thing where you don't really introduce. And maybe it's cultural over here, but in the States not so much, but we largely ignore it. But you don't introduce the baby into the world for months and months and months and months, right?
Right.
Like 6 months, and then you finally bring that baby out. And then even then, you don't bring that baby to big public venues like restaurants and stuff because like in Japan, like
It'd be kind of rude. Yeah.
quietness
Yeah.
quietness is important, and having a crying baby disturbs all of that, right?
Yeah.
But I think here is a lot more countryside, so it's not as much of a factor. Everybody
Well,
here, people here have very large families, and so that's
yeah.
largely ignored.
Well,
It's a
and not
different
to
culture
mention,
than Japanese culture as well,
yeah,
Yeah.
not to mention that they're so integrated with the Americans because
Mm-hmm.
the Americans take their kids
Mm-hmm.
everywhere that it's
Right.
just kind of accepted that that's what happens here.
Yep. 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 It's
You
true.
know,
So I
unfortunately.
mean, we'll go out and we'll go eat and stuff all the time, but I mean, it's all very limited.
Yeah. All right. Well, shit. Yeah, not much on my end, man. We're just me, work and more work.
Yeah.
But we are
Yeah.
getting ready
You?
to
God.
yeah. Listen, man.
You really love work. I mean, I'm just like, man, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you keep doing it.
I think I was built for this.
Yeah.
But, I'm starting to feel it more and more myself actually. I'm getting to the point to where I I very much look forward to the weekends now just for the plain and simple fact I get to sleep in,
Do
you
you
know.
get weekends? Do you get weekends now?
Yeah, yeah, I'm back to
Because there
just
was
the
a
5
stretch
days
there
a
for
week.
about 2 or 3 years where you were pushing 6, 7 days a week.
Yeah. Well, that's because these guys couldn't quit breaking shit. But
Yeah.
now I think I'm to the point to where it's just like, well, if they're gonna break it, they're gonna break it. There's not much I can do about it.
Right.
Um, but yeah, we're doing well, and we are getting ready to move. Unfortunately, we really like the place we're in, but there's been
I like
some
I like that
developments.
place you're in. That place you're in is
Yeah,
really nice. It's
yeah,
really
and
high
the
up.
view is
It's got an amazing view. I
yeah,
remember once we were over there and the storms were rolling through and there were the little pocket storms. And so we had bright shiny sun, and then over off in the distance, like there's a big hill, and it was just like this nasty lightning storm, and I was like, this is incredible to watch.
yeah, yeah. Um, but we've got a neighbor that's a little has a bunch of kids, young kids, and the mansion style houses here. Just for those that never lived in Japan, they call
The
small
mansions,
apartment buildings, like high rise
high-rise
apartment
apartments.
buildings. They call
Yeah.
them mansions. It's not mansion in the sense of we
Not the
Americans think in a big
Western
house.
societal sense, yeah.
Yeah,
It is a big house, but a multi-family house.
yeah. So um, they don't build them very soundproof over here. So the kids running to and from, and these kids, there's three of them, and they seem. It's almost like they're trying to impersonate Godzilla every time they walk. they just make they make so,
That's
so much noise, and you would think that kids are in bed by 7, 8 o'clock at night. These are young kids, but they're running till midnight almost every night.
how does that affect you, dude? That's gotta fuck with you. Like your
Well,
your your mental state. That's gotta mess
Well,
with your
that's the
family.
thing. It's like when you're trying to sleep, all you hear is tuk 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 tuk, and it's just constant. And it's so bad it not only vibrates the ceiling, it vibrates the wall right where our headboard is. So that vibration is just it's
don't
constant.
don't blame your headboard banging on the wall on the kids upstairs, dude.
Well,
Come on now.
you know how I do
All right,
in
old
my
man.
old age.
Gotta hold on to something, I guess.
yeah. But so it just got to the point to where we couldn't, we had talked to the neighbor and she she's kind of at her wit's end. She tries to keep them quiet because everybody's complaining, but they're owners, so
Kids,
that
oh
group,
yeah, huh?
yeah, they own their apartment, whereas we're just renting.
Yeah.
Um,
Kids
so we
are
can't
gonna be
really do
kids
anything.
in the long run, as well, especially
Yeah,
boys.
yeah.
You
So
know,
we just made the decision. We kind of started looking for a new place to live. Although we hated giving up the place we're in now, but it just got to the point to where we just couldn't deal with it anymore, and it was driving Schnocko crazy. Um, so yeah, we found a nice place. It's just a standalone house because that was I told her, I said we cannot move to another apartment and hope that it doesn't happen again.
if you ever want to relive old times, let me know, and I'll come over and I'll jump around on your roof,
Thanks,
help you
man.
out.
Appreciate
I
it.
I you know I understand what you're going through, and unfortunately, moving, as unfortunate as it may be, and as shitty as moving is kind of the only answer sometimes, right? When I was stationed in northern Japan, I lived in the towers on base. We have these military towers, housing towers, and I lived on the seventh floor. The family that lived on the eighth floor, I would refer to them as the elephant family because they would do the same thing. They would fucking just like boom, boom, boom. But you know, the wife was a rather large woman, and I think she had to lock her knees and dig her heels in on every step just to maintain stability, right? But there would be times where my ceiling fan, I would be afraid that the light fixtures were gonna fall off because they were rattling so bad because my ceiling,
Yeah.
like, this is a concrete structure. I was like, how in the hell are you making my ceiling fan rattle? This is insane." And it really fucked me up, like, emotionally, like, mentally, it fucked me up. I couldn't handle it, dude. Because I'm working nights and during days and shit's like, I'm just like, "What the fuck?" And I was drinking really heavy at the time too. And so I would go up there in mildly okay states and knock on their door or bang on their door and tell them, "Just shut the fuck up." Of course, that's the professional version of referring to them to calm down. But dude, I couldn't take it. It was insane. You
Yeah.
know, and it didn't get fixed until we moved. You know, and it was just like it was such a bad environment. It definitely affected the family. You know,
Yeah.
just because it was such
Yeah.
a shitty living condition. Those shitty living conditions, especially I'm in the military. I don't have the free reign. Like I can't just say, hey, I want to get into a new place. It doesn't work like that. Nope,
Yeah.
you are where you are. So I had to PCS. I had to leave that base. You know.
Yeah, and that's, unfortunately that's kind of what we had to do. And I told Shinako, I said, because we looked at a few places and they were all just garbage because we had to have a standalone house, a single family home. We couldn't,
Yeah,
and I
that
didn't.
was the set that you were gonna go with, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because I didn't want to put a spec in a situation where, because we've been in that place for 5 years and it was fine, and then
Mm-hmm.
just all of a sudden these kids just started being just rambunctious as hell, and maybe it was an earworm thing, where once you notice it, you always notice it, where you could have just it could have been happening forever.
Heightened irritation. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
but
focused on it.
and again, it came to the point to where I wasn't sleeping, and having to get up and being irritated and everything. So I was just like, yeah, we gotta do something about this.
Right.
But we found a place finally, and it's actually bigger than the place we're in now, which is nice. It's a lot like our old place. You were at our old place.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's kind of like that. It's an American style house, American utilities and things like that.
That old place was like a top and bottom duplex, right?
It was a 4 story, but we were on the
Oh,
bottom
4 story.
floor.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But you got to remember that it wasn't nobody lived above us for like most of that time because they
Hmm.
couldn't for whatever reason people didn't want to live in that area.
It's kind of strange. It's a
So
convenient area.
yeah, but so we're getting ready to do that. We move at the end of the month, basically. So we're packing now, slowly but surely, trying to get all that shit done.
Yeah, I
But other
don't
than
think
that, not
I will never live in an apartment again. Like never, ever, ever. I don't want a family on top of me. I don't want a family next on the side of me. Like I don't want a condominium. Like I never want another wall shared with another living facility ever again.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
just like I don't have to. And there's been times where like, yeah, I have to, like, that's my accommodations to get to where I need to be in life. Like I'm gonna have to go through that experience to get that, and live in some shitty places because that's what I can afford at the time. But I'm at the point where I don't need to do that anymore. So I won't,
Yeah.
unless I decide, oh, I'm gonna buy a fucking third house. It's gonna be in the city. I'm gonna send the kid to that high school, so I'm gonna go get an apartment down in the big city. So that might be a possibility, but that won't be the
Yeah.
main. You know.
Yeah.
Mm.
And like I said, it's one of those things where now we know, and we hadn't had this problem before, so first world problems, that type of
Experience
shit.
as well, right? Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
experience part too.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, well, let's not do that again.
Yeah. But other than that, not much going on here. We are uh, getting ready to go on vacation soon, so we're planning all that stuff, and any trip back to the states is always going to be stressful. Let's just say,
Right?
you know.
They recently changed the flying. There's a whole bunch of airplane board flying stuff in the States with that real ID stuff. Are you caught up on that? I went back. I went
Yeah,
back to North Carolina a couple years ago because I had to be in person to get a new driver's license, and I got enrolled into the real ID thing, and I'm glad I did when I did because now they're doing this implementation for flying around inside the U.S. It's either passport or real ID.
yeah. Well, you
So I don't.
remember back in the height of COVID, Florida made me fly back to renew
Oh,
my
that
driver's license.
right.
It was
Yeah, that's
because I
right.
didn't have a real ID,
That's right.
so I had to go and get it done. Yeah,
That was like in the really, 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 really bad height of it too. That wasn't like, oh,
yeah,
that was like, we don't know what the fuck's going on. Like that
yeah.
was
And it was
terrible
like
timing.
it was like a 2 day trip turns into a full month trip because of the quarantines,
Hmm. Yeah,
going and
that's right.
coming and shit,
That's
and then
right.
the
There was
testing
harsh
everywhere you go.
quarantines over here. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
My goodness,
yeah.
flying
So
into and that wasn't just like flying from one state to another. You were flying from one country to another country. Like
yeah, yeah,
that was what you were doing was a near impossibility because the whole fucking world was shut down.
yeah. Hey, and just a shout out to you and your missus for covering for me while I was gone because you guys took care of my family. I appreciate that,
Sure,
brother.
sure. I
Yeah,
don't know what you're talking
Y-
about.
when you came and rescued the wife because with the dog.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's good
That
stuff.
was like the first night.
That's a long time ago. A long time ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, that real ID thing's because I think Shinako's her stateside driver's license needs to
Mhm.
be. They won't renew it until 27, but I want to say that it is a real ID. I'd have to double check it, but she's got her passport either way. So
Yeah.
we'll
Mm.
see how it goes. But we're taking a cruise. We're going to do a cruise while we're in the States instead of wasting time and then go visit my family back in Colorado.
Yeah. Hey, I actually finally finished my taxes earlier in the week, or I guess last week now. For this year, I filed my first year of full expat taxes, which surprisingly was a little bit different.
Yeah.
But dude, I've got like it was great. I loved it. I was like, yeah, this is nice. I filed my
What?
North Carolina tax because I have North Carolina income from the rental properties over there.
Right.
And I
Right.
I owed I owed $67. So I paid that
You son of a
$67 to
bitch.
them. And that's all the tax that I paid to that state entirely. All the deductibles, everything, like $67 from start to finish. And then I got a very large chunk for my federal taxes back because my tax bracket, being retired, having a small taxable income, my tax bracket is very small. Like I'm talking really small. I looked at it and I was like, holy shit, that's my taxable income. Like it's hardly anything. It was phenomenal. And so I got a very large chunk of my federal tax return back too. I was like, oh, that's so nice.
Must be nice.
It is. I mean, in times where like everything is so expensive, it's kind of nice. Like, hey, that's beautiful. So I put that into investments. It
Yeah.
was really good timing. The market took a fucking shit, took a dump. It's nasty as hell. It actually just recently went way back up. Not at the level that it was, but I'm sure it will at some point
Well,
in
it had
time.
a decent
Um,
rebound. Yeah.
yeah, but it was really good timing with getting my federal tax return back, and I slammed it into investments almost immediately because the market was so down. And I love talking about money. Um, when the COVID dip happened in the market back in, I don't know what the fuck year that was, dude. I don't
2020.
remember. 2022, 2021, whenever the hard dip happened.
Yeah, it was
I
like
was walking around and
wasn't it like
I
May of
went to
2020?
almost every troop in my shop, 70 something of them, and I told them, "Hey, if you've ever wanted to know how to get into investments, even if it's just mutual funds, I'm telling you right now, today, right now, this week is the moment to get into the investments because I got lucky when I was very young and somebody did that to me. And they said, "Hey, look, right now is the moment that you, if you're looking to get into investments, want to get investments." And they broke it down and they explained why, right? And they did it very professionally through their own profile and everything. And I had a little bit of money sitting on the side, right? As a very young airman. And I decided that I was going to take that and I put it into a mutual fund. I put that into a mutual fund, and within 3 months it doubled. And I was like, "Holy shit, this is amazing." Right. And that kicked me off on an entire start into continuously reinvesting that money, um, you know, I don't want to go off on a big tangent. But
Oh,
like
that's what this.
the market went down, and it's buy the dip. Does it hurt? Right? There's a famous saying. Was it Michael Saylor's? I think that says it. That says, um, when there's blood in the street, even if it's your own, buy. Right? Like buy in fear, sell in greed. And so like I very much felt this dip, right? Like very, very much felt it. But I think you did too, right? I think we had a discussion
Oh,
on this. Like, hey man,
yeah.
are you doing okay? And like I had to try to keep my sanity and not be fearful and sell and say,
Yeah.
fuck this, I'm out and sell. That was the stupidest move because everything rebounds, right? And so like I got a little bit of money off to the side every month and I put a little bit in and then I got my tax return back and I put that shit in. And I'm really glad I did because phew, it's kind of nice right now, I got to admit. So,
Yeah. Well,
it's
I
good.
mean that's pretty
And
much all we're doing.
it will continue to push a dividend into it. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
that's all we're doing. Any extra money we get, we just throw in there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm almost using it as like a second savings account at this point.
That's exactly what we're doing. We're using it as a home fund,
Yeah, because
you
the
know.
real exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's exactly what I'm investing for is I'm investing to purchase the next property out here.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we're
exactly.
doing. We're using it to and the wife's the one doing all that and she's getting really fucking good at it. I mean
Good.
like really good.
Good.
Not gonna throw out any numbers, but I'm quite impressed
No
to be
need.
honest with you.
That's good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to it's a mentality, right? A lot of that is a mentality is to override your own natural desires to fearfully run out of something. And I've
Yeah.
made those mistakes. And every time I've made those mistakes, I've kept record of them because it's like, hey, man, that was a fucking dumb decision. And I made that decision because of XYZ. So
Yeah.
next time, don't make that decision,
Yeah.
And that sometimes means that I ride a dip all the way down. Okay, I didn't sell it. I still have it, right? I still have all those shares,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah. She's been pretty good about it. So it's we don't panic anymore. We had that panic at the beginning or at the what was it last year,
I think we all did.
when it had the catastrophic fall last year.
Oh, yeah,
She
there was 2 of
panicked.
them. There was one early last year, and then there's this year too,
Yeah.
actually. It
Yeah.
mirrored quite similar. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, but she learned from that.
I've held on through both of those dips, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, she learned from that first one that it will recover. And I kept telling
Yeah,
her, I said, "You know it's gonna come back. Don't
yep.
panic." But she
Exactly.
was, anxiety being a new trader and, somebody that's just now doing this and
Those are lessons.
yeah.
And sometimes it costs you a little bit of money to learn those lessons, but if you're able to learn those lessons, the money that you spent to learn that lesson is like a college tuition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be effective with it next time. Yeah.
Yeah. So now my
Emotionals,
son's
you cannot be emotional. If you're
yeah.
gonna invest, you're gonna trade, you cannot be emotional. You have to be a realist.
Yeah. My son's looking to get into it now. So
That's good.
he's doing some studying and asking questions and stuff like that. So I was like, "Well, you're
Nice.
a you're an accountant. You should know this shit."
Oh, really? He's an accountant? Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
That's so
he's an
funny.
accountant, but he says there's a difference between accounting and finance. I was like,
I
okay,
get.
well,
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
yeah,
Especially when you're talking about, long-term investments
yeah,
or stock trading. I don't particularly like stock trading. Like I do stock trading from time to time. Like I'll get into it and I'll be like, "All right, I'm going to fucking really get into this. I'm going to do the charts and then I just get out of it and go, I fucking hate this." You know, and just go back
yeah,
to investing
yeah. No, Schnauka's
long term.
been doing straight up day trading,
Yeah.
and she's like I said, she's just getting
She
better and
must
better
she
at
must
it. It's
really
just like,
like it. Yeah, she might
yeah,
really like it. I
well,
just don't like it.
she
Or I
likes
don't
the
have the
idea.
attentiveness of it.
Yeah, she likes the idea of the thrill when she makes the money when she does the day trade when she buys something low sells high and
Yeah.
makes decent money. She likes that feeling. So
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, well, but she hates it when she loses. So
I mean,
so, so
it's got to
yeah,
outweigh it's got to outweigh.
yeah,
The losses are going to happen. They are going to happen.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. As we
S-
experience.
Speaking of losses, you met, we talked about bringing home the little one. Have you been able to spend any time for yourself, doing anything, take care of yourself
Dude,
mentally?
yes, bro. Like I had an empty house for a little while. It was just me and the dogs. The wife was in the hospital. She was late in labor, so she stayed in the hospital for a little while, and then eventually we committed to the procedure, right? Just because clock was ticking. We're like, yo, we gotta get this baby out. Um, but I had the house to myself for, and I was going to the hospital every day, for a couple of weeks, and I busted out my old guitars, and I haven't played my guitars in I don't know how long. Like I've had them sitting around from time to time, and I might like pick it up and just like pluck a string. I'll tune it and pluck a string and be like, man, I suck, and put it back down. But like I genuinely have started playing again, and I am like really enjoying it, and it's been so much fun to just like I have an old um early 2000s um Martin D18, and it was one of the most difficult guitars that I've ever played through all of the years that I've owned it. And so I took it and I eventually said, I'm going to tune this. Like I'm actually going to get this into a playable status. And I sanded down the bridge and took care of the guitar. But I found that the front bridge plate had bowed up from the time from just
Ah,
being
yeah,
old, right? And it's because I've never really taken care of the guitar
right.
as the guitar should be taken care of, right? I mean, I've traveled around the world with this guitar. I took this guitar to Afghanistan with me. Like, like talk, like I'm surprised I didn't have bullet holes through. That'd be fucking cool as shit. Um, but and so like I haven't taken care of the guitar, so I finally sat down and I've taken care of the bowing as much as I can just by drying out the wood, and I live in a very high humid environment, right? So I had to put it under the dehumidifier. For the most part, I keep it in the case now, with some what's the desiccant
Desiccant, yeah,
packages. Yeah,
desiccant,
to
yeah.
try to get the wood to dry. And I now have a meter in there so that I can monitor the dryness of the wood. So I've stabilized it down to a 60%. I'm trying to get it down to 40 to 50 range, for dryness of
Okay,
wood. But
yeah.
dude, the guitar now plays so good, and it's so easy. Like I prefer playing on my acoustic guitar. That through all the years I've played it has been the hardest guitar for me to play. than I do on any of my electric guitars. And dude, I'm having a blast. I got this little wheel of fifth, and I just go around and I practice playing in different keys and just skipping around and doing a 1 5 4 6, and it's I have so much fun. And the baby will be crying, and I'll just bring out the guitar and I'll play some stupid fucking song for her, and it's fun, man. I've been really enjoying it. So taking care of myself, like I'm stuck in the house for the most part. I don't have a lot of time for myself, but in that, I could play the guitar whenever, and I've been really enjoying it. It's been a lot.
Good, man. Good. I'm glad to hear it.
I'm thinking about creating a one-man band. I'm gonna call it the Radioactive Banana.
Fucking okay. All
I don't know if
right.
I'm gonna be I don't know if I'm gonna be a country band or a punk band. Like I'm not sure yet.
There was a
Maybe I'll be a California reggae band like Sublime.
there was a Marine that got famous on YouTube. He made a song called the EAS song. Tyler J, I think his name was Tyler J. Statterfield or something like that. But he came out with a song called "The Circus."
Mm,
You should check it out. It's actually pretty
okay,
good. It's just him and a guitar.
nice. The EAS
Um,
song.
yeah, but that was like a comedy song he wrote about what it was like to be in the Marine Corps. But he much later in life, after he got out of the Marines, he made a song called "The Circus." I think you'd like it.
Tyler J. Cool. I just pulled him up. Yeah, when I was young, when I was a young airman, we had a band, fighter pilot band called I think it was called the Three Gringos, and they made a song about pilots and aircraft maintenance that as aircraft maintainers we absolutely loved it because it talked about how fucked up pilots were, and just did some bullshit to the maintainers, right? So it was just like over G'ing the aircraft and all these fucked up things, and it was just the song itself is such a funny song.
Yeah,
Dos Gringos, Three Gringos, I don't remember now. Maybe it was called the Three Gringos, but it was something Gringos, and it was just fighter pilot band. It was fucking it. But I only remember this one song that they did, but it was such a good song.
yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear you're taking care of yourself, man. You
Yeah.
need to be able to let go of some of that, especially with a new baby around and everything. Tell Mayu to
Oh
do the
yeah,
same.
dude. I've been doing a lot of work on getting my shoulder rehabilitated too. I finally got a pull-up bar. I've been trying to like get around. Like I was in the shop and I was like, maybe I can hang something from the rafters, or I can do something in the house. And finally I got on Amazon and I was like, fuck this. Look up pull-up bar, and it was like $30. So I got a pull-up bar on the side of the house. I can go and hang from it now, and I can do shoulder crunches and kind of get my shoulder to rehabilitate because dude, it's nasty. Like not being able to lift your arms because it hurts so bad. But I tell you what, man, a couple of weeks of doing that, I feel so much better. Like so much better. My
Yeah,
shoulder's still all jacked up and arthritic and shit, but at least it's not excruciating pain anymore, right?
yeah.
So hopefully it continues to get better. Like it shows so much improvement. I hope it
You s-
continues.
you said Amazon cost you $30.
Yeah. Like an actual pull-up bar set. It's like a pull-up and dip bar. It's really stupid cheap.
Yeah,
Like really, really cheesy. I was like, I
I'm
don't really
surprised.
care how cheesy it is. It's
I'm
outside in
surprised
the
you could.
rain. It's gonna rust away.
I'm surprised you could afford that with all the state tax you paid. You son of
Yeah.
a bitch.
$67. Yeah. I couldn't
uh,
even, the fucking downside to that is I couldn't even pay that. I wasn't able to pay my $67 of state tax that I owed on like a direct deposit from the tax form itself. I had to log into North Carolina website and specifically pay taxes. And it was just
really?
like I just like sent them money and they attached it to my social, and I was just like, well, that was fucking sketchy. But whatever, I got the receipt.
I thought you
Like
were. I thought you were changing your state.
to North Carolina.
Oh, you. Oh, from
A long,
California to
long
North
time ago,
Carolina.
it was from California, and then I
Yeah.
was like, fuck, I'm retiring. I'm getting out of the military. I don't have a need to go back to California ever. My house is
Yeah.
in North Carolina, like, my driver's license in North Carolina, and so I'm just like, I'm changing my residency to North Carolina. That's where I intend to go to anyways when I go back to the States, you know? Like, at any point in time in the future, when I go back to the States, I'm gonna go to my house in North Carolina. Like, that's so
Yeah.
I'm like, that's my state residency, like, so
Yeah.
change my residency, you know? Vote in North Carolina and everything, but
Yeah, that's why we
now I'm
stayed in
all
Florida.
overseas. Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, fucking,
I sure as fuck am not gonna go back to California, I'll tell you that.
oh fuck
Not
no.
dude, fuck you. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I saw a thing where it was like this dude was like, "Hey, I thought gas prices were supposed to be going down. What the fuck?" And he shows the sign and it's like $8 for a gallon of gas. I was like, "Oh my God." And the lady's like, "Well, I'm in Florida and it's fucking 260 here. I don't you
Yeah.
must be in California." And I was like, "Yeah, that's why I'm not going back to California."
Yeah. Fucking I lived that sticker shock. When we moved, when I retired, I lived in Florida. And then I got that job in California. We went there and the gas was double.
It's insane. And
I was just
the
like,
way California is set up is you drive everywhere to get anywhere. You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
not anything is like not like here where I live, you know, like nothing is close in California comparison to, you know, here.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, but shit, fucking traffic here is now that
Traffic
COVID's
here
no
is
longer a
insane.
thing.
Well,
Yeah.
you say traffic is bad because you live down there where the traffic is. Ding
Yeah.
dong. I don't
Yeah.
live where traffic is. I'm in the fucking country. Nobody's up here for a reason. And I love it. I prefer it. Else. Every time I travel down to your neck of the fucking woods, though, I get mad as shit because there's nothing but fucking old people and dickheads.
Old people in rental cars.
And you.
Yeah. Well, right now I'm an old person in
Oh,
a
the
rental
rental
car,
cars.
so
Oh, I forgot about the rental cars. Dude, yeah, the Chinese and fucking Korean rental cars. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad.
yeah, it sucks, man. But we're getting ready to we're moving down to where it's a little less crowded. So
No, but that area still has a lot of
yeah,
congestion.
yeah, but it's not like near
But it's not
58.
no, 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 no. It's nothing like that. My God, it's
Yeah,
nothing like that. Because 58 has two waves of congestion, the military traffic time and then the civilian traffic time.
yeah,
And so it's always a nightmare. I
yeah.
remember I saw a meme, it was like, um, what it was, Chaton. It said Chaton. The only place in the world that's 1 hour away from Chaton.
It's so true.
Right?
Jesus Christ, so true. Well, because American Village just makes it,
Uh-huh.
that much more crowded.
Oh, it's such a funny place. But I
Yeah,
enjoy going down there, but I don't enjoy being down there, if that makes sense.
yeah.
Like
Oh
it's
no,
an
yeah,
excursion, right?
yeah.
Those are the rarities for me to go out. So
Yeah, and we're kind of looking forward to just the peace and quiet too, because even on 23 right there, the Boso Soku are so bad,
right.
just all night running up and
Okinawa
down the.
City more inland, and then
Yeah,
in the northern Uruma area, which you'll be kind of close to both the Uruma area. It's so much more populated with the Japanese population instead of the military population,
yeah, yeah.
which
So
naturally has a completely different environment.
yeah, so
Yeah,
we'll see how it turns out, but we're looking forward to it.
that's good. I'm
Uh,
glad you got a place picked out already. That's nice.
yeah, it kind of just fell into this one,
Yeah.
uh, and it's nice. We'll have you over as soon as you guys are up and running.
Hell yeah. Heck yeah, man. It's good.
All right, brother. Well, I think that's all I got in for me today. How
All right.
about you? You got anything else you want to cover? This was just kind of a
Dude.
catch-up session,
I gotta
everybody.
tell you, yeah, I gotta tell you, man. Life. Let me end like this. Like life, life is throughout all of my life has given me a lot of twists, a lot of turns, a lot of difficulties, and I think I'm blessed to live the life that I have today. Even though sitting here today, it's definitely not the easy route. Like it's if and I always tell my wife, I was like, man, every fucking thing I do, I got mad the other day, like really mad. First time I got really, really mad in a long time, you know? And I was like, every fucking thing I do has got to be difficult. Everything I do is the hardest fucking thing I've ever done, ever. Right. And then I stopped and I realized that I said, if it wasn't difficult, it wouldn't be my life. I'm so glad I have it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it wouldn't be worth doing.
it's perspective. You know, and
Yeah.
I had to change my perspective and realize like the things I do are worth doing. That's what makes them difficult.
Exactly.
If it wasn't worth doing, if it was just some simplistic, mind-numbing thing to do, then it wouldn't, that's not the life that I live. I don't live a mind-numbing existence.
Yeah.
So here I am.
Well,
I'm happy. I'm excited.
yeah. Challenges are what's fun.
Mm-hmm. Difficult in the moment. Sometimes when you get through them, sometimes they're quite long, right? Sometimes you
Yeah.
get through them and you realize, man, I'm so glad I got to experience that, whatever that was. Right? Because it built
Yeah,
me,
man.
built character, built me, made me
Yeah.
stronger.
Well.
Cool.
All right. Well, I'm glad we got to catch up, brother.
Hell yeah, dog. Ketchup and mustard. You ready to end this?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So if you're out there listening, let us know what you want us to talk about. Let us know what you want to hear because we want to talk about it. Put a comment down there, and if you liked what you heard, even though it's just catch up between me and Brian, hit that like button and come on back for the next show. See you later.
Thanks, everybody.